I didn't think I was going to be dating a girl that, said la-di-da all the time. And, it's just like...
I want to do Woody Allen.
Yeah, I think,
I could do an okay Woody Allen myself.
Like a little bit of Woody Allen.
I know Woody Allen, but, I dabble.
If you guys keep doing Woody Allen impressions, I'm not only shutting down the computer, kicking everyone out of the house, but I'm never coming back.
You have bewitched me, body and soul, but I love you.
It'd be a privilege to have my heart broken by you.
I came here tonight because when you realize you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody, you want the rest of your life to start as soon as possible.
Some people are worth melting for.
Come on, Mr. Frodo. I can't carry it for you. But I can carry you.
John hates movies. Feels Buary.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to John Hates Movies, the movie review podcast where my friends prevent me from liking Woody Allen and instead force me to watch movies. I am your host, Jonathan Barrup. We have with us Eric Largent.
Tally-ho.
We have Chris Arsenault.
I forgot my mantra.
We have Colin McMillan.
Well, when are you coming back to New York?
And we have James Barrup.
I don't get that. What is that supposed to be a joke or something?
For those of you who are curious, this week we are reviewing Annie Hall. This is
dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, this is a Woody Allen film. He had films and successes before this, but I think this is the one that a lot of people feel put him on the map. Diane Keaton and Woody Allen star in this Oscar-winning romantic comedy about the relationship between a neurotic writer and a quirky aspiring singer. Stars Woody Allen, Diane Keaton, and Tony Roberts, and it was directed by Woody Allen. 1997.
1977.
Yeah, I do that all the
97.
time. Everything apparently happens
Everything's
in the 90s.
John's just stuck in the 90s.
Yeah,
They had been copying Annie Hall for like 15 years by that point.
Yeah, there's definitely some truth to that. So, who wants to start us off this week? I'm going to open the floor. I'm not going to pick and choose. There's so much to be said about this that I feel you all have something to say.
I mean,
I would like to go after Colin.
You go. Oh no! By all means, my friend, you first.
Like, you could definitely tell it was the 70s, though, and not the 90s, because everybody in that movie looked like they're on coke. Especially Paul Simon was sweating in every scene. like he really was. Like, I don't know what.
Well, he was
Paul
afraid
Simon's...
Carrie Fisher was going to come get him.
I think that he was just afraid of Diane Keaton because she was so much bigger than him.
Yes, that's
possible. Well, then
possible.
that man must be very scared all the time.
Yeah.
So I guess
Paul Simon.
I guess I could probably start us off because
Paul Simon reminds him of his dad.
Well, no.
Actually, Paul Simon reminds me of Eric's dad. Literally, honestly, he does.
Yeah, my dad does look a lot like Paul Simon,
and he sounds like him too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, well, then why isn't he a singer?
Well,
he had more important things to do.
Yeah, fighting bears, making sure those truck stop presents got delivered to young Eric.
Guys, my dad is a rock. He is an island.
You should have sung the second part. My dad's a rock. He's an island.
My dad
taking it too far, Colin.
My dad loves Paul Simon, and Paul Simon stole his whole look from my dad. So, he really
met in a club one night in New York, and
he should be paying him royalties. But really, I'm of two different minds about this movie because it does things that. So I watched it for the first time last night, and this movie does things that at this point, now we're in 2015, I've seen many times before.
Mm-hmm.
But in 1977, doing things like breaking the fourth wall and doing like really kind of awkward and natural and kind of a more realistic type of dialogue, it seems like those things weren't necessarily commonplace back then. So like when I was watching that stuff happen in the movie, I was like, man, while I was watching, I was like, this is kind of like a tired premise at this point, isn't it? But then like, but no, this movie was from 1977. So it probably was very much not tired back then. In this movie, Woody Allen painstakingly tries to make the dialogue kind of awkward and seem kind of natural. And it works in certain scenes, and it really doesn't work in other scenes. An example of it working is, just a lot of the interpersonal dialogue with him and Annie Hall is really good and seems pretty natural. Like when they're out on the balcony, and that's actually a pretty good scene. When they're out on the balcony and, they're talking back and forth, they're discussing the art of photography.
Yeah. I got the subtitles.
Right, and there are the subtitles and all, and that's actually pretty clever. And Woody Allen's just, all he's thinking is like, I want to bang this girl. How can I bang this girl? And she's like, this guy knows more about this subject than me. I'm just trying to keep up. Like that scene.
But they're both just completely full of bullshit.
Yes.
Like both of them.
Yes,
Yep.
absolutely.
Neither of them actually has a clue what the other's talking about.
Right. That was a pretty good scene, but then there are other scenes that don't do it as well. Like when they're, like in movies they call it a meet cute. When they do their meet cute after they do the tennis match, and they're standing in the lobby, they're both so like extra awkward, like even more so than is natural. Yeah. Like Diane Keaton is really hamming it up in that scene, and it's really noticeable.
Yeah, like. I don't know. The thing about that scene that stuck out to me is, like, how does he not get that she's, like, flagrantly hitting on him?
Yeah.
Like, how is he not picking this up? There's this really cute girl that's, like, obviously laying it on thick, which kind of makes no sense.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
Yeah. The flagrantness of that scene is how heavy she's laying it on is pretty unbelievable. And I would completely not believe it if Diane Keaton and Woody Allen had not actually dated before they filmed this movie, which is just fucking shocking to me.
Well, he's already famous at that point, so
yeah,
I guess you got that going for you.
Like, I guess pompous gas bags can get girls? I don't know.
Famous people in New York City can get girls.
Famous and rich.
Yeah, funny. Because, I mean, he is funny.
Yes, he is
arguable.
I would say he's not funny in this.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that he's produced a lot of really good comedy. I have my theories about Alvy in this movie regarding that.
Sleeper's a riot. It's very, very
so this
funny.
is the
I
only,
will actually give you that. I enjoyed Sleepers.
So this is the only Woody Allen movie I've ever seen in my life. So like when he's breaking the fourth wall, when he's like kind of taking you on like a autobiographic kind of little tour through the character's life, I don't know. It's good, but like I don't know. I kind of want to give the movie credit for doing it, but at this point, I've seen it so many times that it wasn't anything that was all that novel to me. Like a lot of the like this is a movie about dialogue. Obviously, it's like that's all that really happens in the movie is dialogue. There's nothing else, and a lot. The dialogue is pretty well done. It's just it seems a lot of times that he's trying to impress himself, like almost when like it seemed like the whole exercise of him writing this movie was just masturbation, like
or therapy.
Right?
He's got a line about it in there.
Yeah, I know, and it really kind of seems like that's what he was doing with this movie is just trying to please himself, and I'm sure he succeeded because it won an Academy Award. But I really don't have a ton to say about it. The last thing I'll say is that scene at the end where he flies out to California and proposes to her really is one of the saddest things I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, yeah.
It's just,
ouch.
I was going to ask that.
It's just absolutely like pitiful. Like, oh my God.
Especially since he can't even give her an inch then. Like, He hasn't respected her for a second in the entire movie.
Yeah.
And his proposal is like,
so are you coming back to New York?
Come on. Hey, come on. Are you going to come back and marry me or what? Like,
yeah.
Like, he's a jackhole when he proposes to her.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and that's another thing I kind of wanted to get at is, all throughout the movie, he's perceiving, subtle racism. But the things that he's perceiving that he's perceiving other people are doing to him, he's doing to her. Or he's doing similar things to her where he's like, oh, you're just, he acts like she's too dumb for anything. And that's really not cool.
Yeah.
It's really not. And
man, he's terrible to her.
Yeah, he really is. And Chris mentioned it. I'm going to steal a little bit of Chris's thunder here.
That's fine.
When before the podcast, spoilers, we talked to each other before the podcast.
We outside the podcast. Write that into your fan fiction.
So the first, we haven't gotten any of that yet.
It's so hot.
Please send it. But anyway,
he accused me of calling him Babe earlier too, which I don't know what I don't know what I was trying to say, but like my jumbled out, I might have made.
You said Bae.
Yeah.
Chris called me his Bae earlier.
You're like, yo, babe, give me a beer, will you?
It's cool. I'm hip,
I meant to say Buddy and Hey.
That's buddy what it was, but I still could not fathom what the hell I was actually trying to say to him.
Anyway, Chris had mentioned Woody Allen so he takes her, like, it's kind of their first date. He goes and sees her first open mic or whatever her performance was at the jazz club. Mm-hmm. And it does not go well. And then he goes and sees her when she's kind of taken off, and when Paul Simon, sees her and is like, "Oh, I need to sign you now. Let's do this."
But by do this, he meant sex.
Well,
probably.
I mean, pizza.
It's up in the air.
Pizza.
I definitely wanted to do pizza with her.
But
I don't think so, considering he invited Woody Allen to come along.
Well, because they were.
It was the 70s, though.
That was a really.
They were at least going to get a face full of blow.
That was a really offhand invitation to Woody Allen.
Anywho, sorry.
For sure.
Yeah.
He's trying to make my point, so.
I'm trying to make Chris's point. So anyway, Woody Allen's praise for her after she nailed it that second time, all he really wanted to say in that scene is, "I was right."
Because he's like, "Oh, you were wonderful. You were," and like he says it, and then the second time he's about to say it, he does this awkward pause, like he's about to say something completely else. And I was like, he wants to say, "I was right."
Yeah,
I was right all along.
I think he does. Doesn't he say?
I don't think he does, but his tone implies it.
Yeah, everything.
You were wonderful and stupid shit.
Right.
So yes,
I mean, besides the sort of obvious fact about that character that he's kind of bad at saying nice things in the first place.
Oh yeah.
So I'm kind of 50-50 on this movie. Like it does good things. Like the dialogue is good. It's I don't know. I would love to see the script because it feels almost that some of it was ad-libbed. I'm sure not all. I'm sure it wasn't, but it feels really natural, and that was well done. But Alvy is a terrible character.
Oh yeah,
and
he's awful.
Yeah, and watching the movie, you just wonder how much of that is Woody Allen and how much of it is a character.
Every major character in every movie is terrible. John hates movies.
Well, I mean, that was a thing for like a very long time. Is these protagonists that just suck? You know, that
next
there's
we're
nothing
watching
good about
Jesus Christ Superstar.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because the protagonist in that movie is actually, well, you know, he's
he is kind of a dick.
He's kind of a dick, actually. Jesus is kind of a dick. Okay, it was made in the 70s, so Jesus is kind of a dick.
The very last thing that I'm going to say is, in one scene when Woody Allen wants to have sex with Diane Keaton, he says, "Come on, let's play hide the sausage."
Yeah.
And now that's fucking stupid. Like,
Well, I mean,
nobody's
it might
ever.
have been funny back then.
Yeah, but like
Actually, what he says is, "Let's play hide the salam."
oh, the hide the salam, right?
Hide the salam.
Yeah, not even salami, but hide this. Let's play hide the salam.
Your fake laugh made me actually laugh, Colin.
Let's go out for a nosh.
Yeah. Not good. I did not like that at all.
I personally like ride the baloney pony.
Riding the baloney pony to Tuna Town.
Riding the baloney pony.
So anyway, I'm lukewarm on this movie, and if we're imagining that this episode of John Hates Movies is a Royal Rumble, I'm just kind of outside the ring right now, looking at which team's going to win, and once that team starts winning, I'll get on their side.
Oh, the opportunist!
Right.
Oh, what a dick!
That's a true. that's a true. No, that's a true Ric Flair move.
True neutral.
Right.
I always try to hog the glory.
I'm neutral chaotic, Colin.
Oh God,
I'm a chaotic neutral.
Chaotic neutral.
Just
I might
like
do
that.
I am a chaotic neutral. But anyway.
So, who wants to take up the mantle after Eric's nonplussed review?
Right.
I can go from here, unless James would like to go first.
Meh.
Hey,
you and Chris fight it out there. Rabbit season.
If anybody wants to get in before the Royal Rumble commences.
Well, I'm just going to stand over here and see which one of you or Chris wins.
All right. Well, I can go. After I watch this movie, and now we're on a 2 streak of Academy Award winning romantic movies. So I had worried that today's podcast might get a little too serious. I mean, somebody might mistake us for film critics if we spend too much time talking about this. So, in addition to reviewing the movie, I've also compiled a list of 7 fictional conditions that you can come down with that don't mean anything but sound really nasty.
Oh boy.
And I'll just drop.
Apparently, he came up with and answered his own game.
I never get to run the game because I never win the game. So I'm going to do something funny now.
And hijack his review. Hijacking his own review. This is like that bit in 8 Mile where Eminem makes like all the insults about himself before the other player can go. Just to like stomp on Chris.
Whoa! So
it's like, you thought I was going to have a good review. Well, I have no review. Well, it's you.
Instead, I'm just going to talk about my wankling ear.
Oh,
or my upset eyeball. I can't come to work today because I've got the wiener flu.
I've had the wiener flu before. It's not good.
Upset eyeball. Now, okay. I will say this. Now, I did not.
Wait. Was it an upset eyeball or an agitated eyeball?
It's an upset eyeball. It's like your upset stomach, but it's your eyeball.
Yeah. That's happened to me before.
Agitated eyeball.
That's happened to me before. Every morning I would wake up and my eyeball was sick. And I went to the eye doctor, and he looked at it and he said it was a miracle. I have a macular conception.
Wow. James, I can't believe you had something for that.
I can, because I've heard it before.
Okay.
I just posted on my Facebook, that's how you heard of it. Copyright me.
No, I made it up myself. It's a coincidence. Yes. Okay,
it's in the cloud. It's all everyone's. It's
Damn
all.
It, Facebook.
It's all people's.
Stupid internet.
I knew I should have posted that disclaimer on Facebook. Okay. Anyway.
Okay, so now I'll talk about the movie a little bit before I list the rest of my maladies.
Okay. Wow.
So, or you could just pepper them in the middle.
Yeah, that was my original. But I don't know. I wasn't sure how this was going to go.
I find Woody Allen's use of cinematography really good.
Ding.
Herniated lapis.
I can't present the award. I've got a runny tooth. Oh,
oh God, that sounds.
I had a guitar teacher who had that.
I told you. Okay, so Eric touched on this already about how like this movie started a bunch of comedic trends, which were then copied So most of the style of jokes in Annie Hall, you've probably seen like 10 times already in movies that have been made since. However, I will give Alan credit in that no one has been able to quite duplicate the jokes they stole from his movie quite as adeptly as he did. They've done the subtitles gag many times. I've seen it before. This is my first viewing of Annie Hall.
Wayne's World.
Sure. I mean, Wayne's World. Actually, Mike Myers copies the shit out of Woody Allen, and I didn't even realize that. I never thought about it until I watched Annie Hall. But basically, his, Mike Myers' character in So I Married an Axe Murderer is just like Alvy, except he's friendly. He's just a dude that has no content and just sort of says clever things all the time. He's just nice. He's like Alvy, only nice. So, a lot of the jokes stood out because they're things I've seen before, like, those who can't teach, those who can't teach, punchline or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Teach Jim. Yeah.
Yeah, and
those who can't teach Jim go to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And those who can't teach Jim, what do you do again, Colin?
That's just totally unprovoked. Yikes.
The first elbow's been thrown.
Fuck you, we have beef.
Hold on. I came up with a terrible melody while you were talking.
Okay.
A gesticulated septum.
Ooh. Sounds like you're having a rough time. Are you having pectoral fits? Okay, so this is Annie Hall is basically the.
Kudos to you, Colin. Kudos for you just picking it back.
Thank you. I don't know if you guys know this, but we're trying to do a show here. Hey, Annie Hall is the progenitor pixie dream girl flick.
Yes,
that is what this movie
Absolutely.
is. It started an awful trend that is
distended belly button.
Ooh.
Isn't that
just one hell of an
No, that's an umbilical cord. That's an umbilical cord. Everybody has a distended belly button.
That's true.
That's frightening
with
because that means there's a baby somewhere.
Maybe he's born with it. Distended belly button.
But not every baby is born with rectal throttling.
Vlarf has something that'll clear that right up.
Yes, it has cream for rectal throttling, actually.
Preparation F. Preparation F.
Preparation F.
Froggle no more.
Froggle no more. Your rectum need not be froggled. Flarf! See, John, I knew you'd appreciate it because you love my nonsense words.
I do. I can't help it. Nonsense words are so great.
There's a review in here somewhere.
Where?
Yeah, I know, right?
Somewhere in the joke patch bag.
Yeah, the joke patch.
Watch out, there's a weasel in there. I also think I stuck my dick in there once.
Weasel toes.
That's how you know there's a weasel in there.
You stuck your pizza in there.
Oh, yeah.
Pizza.
Okay, so... all right. So, as we covered in Eric's review, Woody Allen's character, Alvy, is a complete asshole. He treats Annie Hall like shit the whole time. The rest of the movie is so well executed, in my opinion, that I can only assume this is on purpose, and we're not supposed to like him.
Yeah, maybe. I
think it's a very honest look at himself.
So one other thing that I wanted to say about the execution of this movie is there is no score over the title scene or the credits. And that's really kind of funky.
Isn't that weird?
I don't know if I like
that.
it.
That really stood out
is.
to me too. Really strange. Yeah. That's not even timely for when this was made. It's like that's never been a thing.
Yeah, when I turned it on, I was like, "Wow, these are some really dynamic credits."
Right. Yeah. It felt lazy.
So brave.
Honestly.
So brave.
Because I'm sure he was trying. I'm sure it was intentional. He was trying to do something, but it didn't work.
You know what? Make this movie perfect. You take the credits from Superman Returns and replace the credits in Annie Hall with that.
Yeah.
And then just watch all...
Seriously,
really
the best part of Superman Returns was
it was the credits. Yeah. The opening credits.
I remember.
Yeah, that was great.
I was
totally into it.
Yeah. I was like stoked during those credits. I was like, I'm so glad I'm watching this movie.
It was so good.
No. That's not you're triggering bad
Yeah,
things for me here.
we might maybe actually never should review or talk about a Superman movie on this podcast.
Hey,
Ever.
John, Superman is Jesus. I'm going to hit you over the head with it over and over again.
Hey, Eric, Zod is Caesar.
What?
Did you know that Zod is Caesar?
No.
Yeah. We made his haircut like Caesar because he's Caesar.
What?
No! All right. James, Eric, you're fired.
Alvy.
Colin's review.
So, one of the possible evidence that it is not supposed to be like, look at this asshole here, is how consistently it's pointed out that other people are stupid.
Yes.
In this movie.
Yes.
Like Jeff Goldblum's I Forgot My Mantra, and
even the smart people are stupid.
everybody is stupid except for Alvy.
Right. Yes. That's what I'm talking about with the masturbation.
Right.
Yeah.
No, you're right, dude. It's like, oh my god, look how dumb everybody else is, right? And
Yeah.
I mean, I've had people in my life that are like that. They just hate everything and they're better than everybody, and those people are fucking annoying.
Oh yeah.
Now, if you take Woody Allen in this, and you have a character like that, and you set him up with Diane Keaton, and he gets to date Annie Hall for years, and they have all kinds of crazy sex, and they have this wonderful, great relationship, and it really goes to show that if you really want to get the girl, you only have to be one thing: the fucking writer. Like,
Yep.
and a little advice for those, maybe some people at home are,
George Costanza knows exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, so if you're like an unattractive person that hates everything and thinks you're really clever, let me tell you why girls go out with douchebag bros. Because douchebag bros are not a bummer when you go out to the bar. They pound beers and they hoot and holler and they know how to fucking party. They have a good time, unironically, and it's pretty fun. And when you go out with a little asshole like Alvy and he hates everything, and no matter what you want to do, it doesn't matter what you want to do, he's over it, he doesn't want to do it, that's not fun. So guys, do not be like that. Don't be like that. Don't be an ass. It doesn't matter if you're not jockish. You can still be an asshole.
It's okay to like things in life.
Yes.
It's okay to like things. It's fun
Even if
to
you're a
like
90s
things.
kid.
It's fun to like things.
The 90s are over.
I got a friend.
It's not cool anymore.
I got a friend who refuses to go to Starbucks. He won't go. He will not go to Starbucks. And anytime you mention Starbucks, he has to tirade and make sure you know that he won't go to Starbucks. He comes over to my house, stays sometimes for a couple days. He's an out-of-towner, and I make him coffee, and he always comments that my coffee's really good. It's fucking Starbucks! Do you know why? Because I, like millions of Americans, like Starbucks coffee because it's pretty good.
Corporate whore!
You know what?
What is that, a fucking mermaid?
I didn't sell out, I bought in, okay?
I love that line.
But there's a really important lesson to be learned that in Annie Hall about dating an asshole. If you are ever dating somebody and they cock block your career, you need to get the fuck out.
Yep.
That scene in the bar with Paul Simon, you know what? Maybe he did want to bag Annie Hall, but he is a producer. And later in the movie, he produces her music.
Yes.
Yep.
And this is the one thing that she wants to do. And she just nailed it. And she has an opportunity, and Alvy lies.
Yeah, he's just selfish. He doesn't want to lose her to some party on the docks.
Yeah,
he doesn't, which he was also invited to. Maybe a half-assed invite, but but you know what? At that point in the movie, she is fucking all about him. And if he was at that party, it was nothing. Nobody else was going to touch her. Because she wouldn't have had it. Because Annie Hall is pretty legit. Like she's a good person in this movie.
Can I hijack for a little second and say when a similar situation happens to me, I fucking love it because I go to those things even though those people don't want me to, and I stand next to my beautiful girlfriend and I make those fuckers jealous. And it makes me feel good.
Yeah. You can take joy in that. You can be like, yeah, that bomb-ass singer that just blew the roof off that bar. Yeah, I'm with her. That's sweet. But
cool.
This dude's an ass, and he cockblocks her career at that moment. And now later it comes back when they finally go out to Cali, and he acts like a prick the whole time. he even shoots himself in the foot because he just doesn't want to participate in the world because he's a humongous asswad. I really...
Yeah, he gets anxiety sickness for going on a TV show.
Yes, which miraculously is cured as soon as he doesn't have to go on.
Right.
But it's all because he doesn't want to participate in the fake California thing. But both of his friends that end up down there, they find success. And I'm not here to tell you that California is some magical land where you're going to succeed for sure. But he just didn't want to be wrong. If the way the rest of this movie goes is any indication, if he'd gone on that show, he probably would have had a bump in his career himself. Because
I got a completely different take on that, but I'll do it in my review.
Oh, I would love to hear it. Right. But I just got out of
during your review
that he didn't want to participate. He didn't want to be a part of this California thing because California sucks, and he's not going to be disproved on that.
What, I have to fly out there during Christmas week? It's going to be a whole schlep.
But it's like you're fucking Jewish. What do you care? Like,
that's true.
Like, why should he
in California?
Why should he care?
Yeah, he did. That's actually a good point. I hadn't thought of.
He's talked about being Jewish the whole fucking movie. Then suddenly he cares about Christmas. Give me a break. I disliked Alvy so much that it almost ruined the entire movie for me. But I think when I was 19, I probably would have thought Alvy was pretty cool because I was a hateful little pissant that didn't like anything and wondered why I couldn't get a girlfriend because I was smarter than everybody and too cool for everything. And I think I would have really identified, and I probably would have made everybody I know watch this movie when I was young. But at 35, I'm like, this guy is a fucking loser. And then in the end, after she has dumped him and he has given possibly the world's worst and most awful wedding proposal in history.
Yeah. Yes.
In the end, he shows a glimmer of change. But in like Henry Higgins' My Fair Lady, accustomed to her face style, all he says is, yeah, I guess Annie Hall was pretty fun. Like, fuck you, Alvy.
Yeah.
This guy can't love. He's too broken. He can't even say, boy, I really fucked up. She was really great and I missed out. The best thing he says about her in the whole movie is, golly, that was fun. However, I'll bring it back. This is a very well-made movie, and I think it deserved the accolades that it got. If you don't mind watching an infuriating character fuck everything up, I recommend watching Annie Hall. And my final thought is Upsharts.
Okay, Upsharts does sound pretty bad. Before we let you go here, Colin, though, we move on to the other members. Eric did cover this a little bit in his review. Since this is Feels Be Wary, what was the movie, or what was the part of this movie? Because Eric, it was the proposal. What was the part of this movie that actually gave you the feels?
It was when he cockblocked her career in the bar, and the feel it gave me was...
You asshole, you cockblocked her career in the bar.
That happened to me.
Explosive Polk.
It was Explosive Polk. No, that happened to me. I had a partner cockblock a really major audition for me. That was like a punch in the fuck. It's like, I don't even know how to describe what I felt at that point, because
it felt like Upsharts.
It was like I was upsharting for the rest of the movie. I was upsharting. I came down with rectal froggling. I had a runny tooth. I had to call in to work, but I couldn't because my ear was wankling and I couldn't use the phone. So yeah, like, I mean, unfortunately, the feelings that this evoked in me was like disgust, almost. Although, I mean, anybody that's known me for any amount of time knows that if I met Annie Hall, oh my god, I would have been fucking lost. I would have exploded. Yeah. I was kind of a little bit in love with Diane Keaton anyway, watching this. So,
yeah, she's good at that. She actually had like kind of a quality to her in this film that there's a reason why a lot of people could understand. Like they felt for her.
Yeah,
I don't know. Who's Chris?
Yeah, okay.
Said after Collins.
Let me go ahead and read something for you.
Okay.
When Annie Hall started out, that film was not supposed to be what I wound up with. The film was supposed to be what happens in a guy's mind. Nobody understood anything that went on. The relationship between myself and Diane Keaton was all anyone cared about. That was not what I cared about. In the end, I had to reduce the film to just me and Diane Keaton and that relationship, so I was quite disappointed in that film. Woody Allen.
Yeah. Interesting.
I
I read that
agree
saying, yeah.
with Woody Allen. I was disappointed with the film. But I do think it lends credence to why his character is such a incredibly egocentric, narcissistic schmuck bag of self-depravity. You know?
Because it's all about what the guy
it's not. He's actually playing out what is all supposed to be in his head.
You're not supposed to relate to Annie Hall at all.
No.
Yeah.
No. Well, you're supposed to relate to him in the sense that we all think the stupid shit in our head. Can't believe this motherfucker's talking about the same shit he's talking about for the blah, blah, blah. He knows no idea what he's talking about. Then let's prove that motherfucker wrong.
Yeah, let's pull the director out. And
Right.
Yeah, that's some kind of bullshit
shit.
fantasy. That's
this
stupid.
bitch is, I can't believe you're, want to go off and do your career and not, play nursemaid to me and, my foibles. It may sound like I'm defending the film.
Really?
But it's really that I just had an epiphany about what the character was while we're going over it.
Okay.
And that's what it is. We're looking at the character as a person, a character interacting with people, and it's not. We're not looking at the character that actually interact with Annie Hall.
Looking at a collection of anxiety?
Right. The only probably true part of the character that we saw was probably the subtitle shit. That was that gimmick. But no, what we really have is Annie Hall, that character, and then instead of what the actual side that would be Woody Allen, we have this amorphous anxiety blob representing him in the film, but not what she sees.
Okay.
That said, with this epiphany, I can understand where he was going with this movie, and I think it would have been a better movie. I really disliked this movie because his character, because it ended up becoming this on-off relationship romance movie with a narcissistic, egocentric douche with self-deprecating humor only James could enjoy. Well, assuming he watched the movie. You have this rut of mud that you don't want to step in. And it's just there the whole time in your way. Because the movie itself is not terrible. It's actually decent. I would not, it's partly because, it's an older film and it's been stolen and redone so many thousands of millions of times that, it's harder to appreciate for what it was then because I've seen it done so many times.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I'm not giving it the due credit. I acknowledge that, it was doing things at a time when things that it was doing were not done.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even for that sake, I can't say it did any of those exceptionally well. The dialogue was okay. It was not phenomenal. A lot of it, and it's funny because I was reading another thing. Ebert was saying, I don't think most people realize how much the movie is drawn through all the dialogue and all the drama is through dialogue. I'm like,
everything's dialogue.
Entirely fucking dialogue. If you didn't realize it was driven by dialogue, you are a fucking moron.
What were you watching?
And what drama?
Were you distracted
it didn't
by
have
all the
drama
action
because
scenes?
the way everything was represented was just so in your face. Oh, I feel so anxiety sick. I can't go on. There's no drama there. Oh, I'm so in love with her. I'm going to fly across the country and beg her to marry me. There's no drama there. You knew exactly what was going to happen. He makes a dumbass of himself because he wants his way, doesn't give a fuck about her, and she says, you know what? No. There's no drama there. There's that entire expectation because he has been from the movie perspective, he's been a piece of shit. The only question in my mind is why she stuck around with him for so long, but the reality is when she was younger, she was more naive and she thought he was really cool because he's so smart. And then she's kind of catching on. You're always, talking down to me like I'm stupid and trying to make me take classes. Well, an education is good for you. Meet so many good people. And then when it turns on him, it's the worst thing in the fucking world.
Right.
And she's starting to actually enjoy herself and be wise to all his shenanigans. And
these city college professors, they're full of shit.
Right.
So don't listen to them.
Yeah, pretty much once she wises up to the point where she's smart enough to know how stupid he is. Because once again, the whole movie is trying to represent him as the only smart person in the entire film.
Yeah.
But Annie Hall is the smartest person in the film. because she sees through his shit.
Yep.
Hands down, the greatest part of this entire movie, Tony Roberts.
Yeah.
Every scene with Tony Roberts in it, I was fucking excited because, all the self-deprecating,
Right.
of Woody Allen was like matched to this, like, no man, like this super upbeat,
Calm,
cool
confident,
dude. There's like, awesome sauce kind of shit, And then when that starts failing near the end, when he's in California, he starts attacking him.
Yep.
Like he starts actually insulting him. I'm like, see, Woody, like you're such a failure that it's not just that you want to like take down everyone or don't want to take down yourself. You are full on, not even hiding behind it, trying to take down the people who are happier than you are.
Yeah, like,
and it's atrocious.
Tony Roberts
but I love Tony Roberts in this. Fucking phenomenal.
He's the guy that like is never buying Alvy's bullshit. Like,
right.
Never.
That's why he's
Not
so
for a second.
great.
Yeah.
But he's still his friend. It's like he realizes that this guy has problems.
Yeah.
But he can see past that and for some reason appreciate him as still his friend, which Tony Roberts is a saint in this movie.
Well,
Plus, he
they
looks
grew up
super
together.
awesome in his white suit.
That's a good quality in somebody, that you can see past another person's flaws and you're still their friend.
Right, exactly.
For instance,
also,
you
I
might
want-
disagree with their opinion on a movie and still be friends with them.
I'm not sure where you're going with that, Colin. Anyway, so what was also really cool, non-acrid, high-pitch voice Carol Kane.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, wait, that's Carol Kane. I'm like, that's not Carol. That's not her. That's Carol Kane. And then she's like, I'm like, wow, she's actually sounds really pleasant when she's talking. And then they're in the bedroom and she starts kind of arguing with him. I'm like, there's that high pitch.
Fran Drescher doesn't sound like that either.
I don't mention female actresses' looks very often. But I have.
She looked like she was coked out in that.
Well,
though.
yeah, I'm sure.
Well,
she did,
everybody.
She always has looked crazy. Like her and Bernadette Peters, they are my '70s girls. The Carol Kane and Bernadette Peters. There's something about them that they look ethereal. I don't use that word very often, especially in reference to women. But they look ethereal and elfin.
Yes. I can see that.
And I don't know why, but that just, I'm like, wow, those were
Well, her real name is Carolith of the Cane.
Yeah. But
so I just thank you, John. So I just like to okay, no, that's all right. I just like to go on to
No, fuck you, John. We have beef. That sucks.
Hey, you know what? If you guys can go off almost an entire episode about Selma Hayek, I can talk about Carol Kane.
Hey, John, your opinions suck. You're stupid.
Your face sucks and you should feel bad.
We have beef.
Wait.
We're talking about hot girls.
Can we talk about Selma Hayek?
Can I talk about
we
Lady
can.
Gaga on the Grammys?
No.
Have you seen her picture?
No.
No.
You have Christ Almighty. I'm still working on this. For God's sake.
Dude, I would her.
Wow.
James.
Wow.
Is that like hold on.
That's not gonna make
Hold
it.
on. Is that another malady?
I think it's a cure for a malady.
Anywho.
Crust.
Oh God.
That's why I do jokes like that.
Okay, so I've never really been a huge self-deprecating humor. I think is funny occasionally.
Yeah, you're friends with James.
Yeah, exactly. Well, first off,
Who himself is funny occasionally.
Don't give me too much credit now.
Okay,
Jesus
no.
Christ.
But seriously, guys, no, the humor can be funny. I'm sorry, I grew up in the '90s, so that's practically my butter and jam. So it's I have to have some sort of appreciation, but a constant the constant you had in this movie, like I said, it wasn't just that you stopped. Within the first 5 minutes, you stopped liking the character. Within the first 20, you wanted him to go away. And frankly, for me, I got 45 minutes into this movie and almost told you guys I was sick because I really didn't want to have.
What did you come down with? What did you come down with? What were you sick with?
Rhetorical torrents.
Rhetorical torrents. All right.
Anyway,
A nasal pregnancy.
Anyway,
Pregnant pause.
but so like I said, but the constant level of deprecating humor was painful to watch. It took me out of the whole movie. Like I said, the movie itself, without the character, Woody Allen's character, Alfie's character, would actually have been an interesting, decent movie. I think you didn't see the film that character was supposed to be in. So it kind of makes more sense. Doesn't make me like Annie Hall any better because that's the movie he made. Right?
Yeah, I get that.
That said, I'm trying to lead into a joke.
I'm still talking. Don't punch up the fuck line.
That I only do self-deprecating humor, ironically, because I'm not a huge fan of it. But I do it sometimes. But I only do it ironically. Because, let's face it, I'm awesome and amazing. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 12, personality-wise, I'm at least a 3.5. And physically, I'm like, a 6, because I'm average height and kind of bigger at the bottom. Like a 6.
What?
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I was leading up to the. So where's the joke? But you got it.
You're welcome.
You got it.
It was as terrible as I could make it, and I literally thought about that on the way home from work today, and I was so proud of it.
For those of you listening at home, it's important to note that most of Chris's contributions are behind the scenes. He's very funny. He's a very funny writer.
He's very funny when it does. Oh, there you go. Yes, yeah.
He's a very funny writer.
You meant your penis.
No, I did not mean. I did not mean his pizza.
No, not you. I was
okay. So that said, Annie Hall. Oh, having watched it finally, I would not actually recommend it because of the character you deal with throughout the entire movie. I don't feel it's a good enough love story. Because I don't feel it's a love story. I think it's a kind of slice of life relationship and a following a very narcissistic individual, but not a love story. I don't think there's. I honestly, you said where do you have the feels in this movie? I never did. Okay. This movie, it never made me feel anything about the characters or anything, other than hatred for Alfie. But that wasn't any of the intentions. It didn't make me really go on. Oh man, I just cold-hearted didn't give a fuck about any of the characters.
See, I would recommend this movie for the same reason I would recommend Mad Max. Is that this is kind of
this was
history? In the history
this is
of
one
film,
of those you have to watch to appreciate what we have now. Kind of thing. Yeah.
Yes.
No,
that's why I would recommend this movie.
But because most people don't want to watch movies for that reason, I will never recommend Annie Hall.
Okay.
Fair enough.
So James.
First off, I want to say I don't know what any of you guys are talking about. I watched several episodes of this. Nobody mentioned Scott Thompson or Dave Foley or cross-dressing or gayness.
What, kids
in the hall?
Kids in the hall?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, like Annie Hall.
Okay, yeah, that took me too long.
I really think you should have gone with
squishing
Annie.
your head.
I'm squishing your head.
Kids in the hall. Okay. Yeah.
Now that's something you really have to be a 90s kid to
Yeah.
know.
Kids in the Hall's great.
Okay. I will say this movie has a lot to unpack. And as this podcast has shown, that if you want to properly unpack it, you have to become one of those verbose assholes that is constantly being made fun of in the movie.
Who are you talking about?
Normally, he's talking about Colin.
Whoa.
That was unprovoked and inappropriate.
This is war, son.
All's fair.
Annie Hall, or as I like to call it, famous people in bit parts.
Yes. Like Chris.
Oh, I'm famous?
Oh, shit.
If there was a one sentence speaking line, then a very famous person had it. But if you had
these
a
pretzels are making me salty. Wait.
These pretzels are making me salty.
Don't even bother fixing that, John, because that's going in.
Oh, I'm mad and salty.
You're not going to say it like that, are you?
Anyway, even though I never watched this movie before, I swear I've watched this movie before. Because,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
Every single scene of this movie I have seen somebody else do. And any of like the television shows that you watched growing up in the 80s and 90s, there has been a scene that was ripped off or directly referenced. What I took away from this film is that, first off, I'll just say that I liked it. I watched Everything You Wanted to Know About Sex But Were Afraid to Ask, and that movie was fucking terrible. I had to shut it off. It's sketch comedy.
Is that an older one or a newer one?
It's an older one.
Okay.
But
There is one hilarious part in that.
But I got to the goat thing and I was like, this is fucking dumb. It's taken forever to get through a fucking joke, and the joke has been done a million times already. I mean, it might have been new when this movie came out, but
I feel like you just don't like the competition.
Well, I have to say that, this movie comes, because if you watch Woody Allen's earlier stuff, it's like Mel Brooks stuff.
Yeah.
It's just basically like a lot
What's
of...
Up, Tiger Lily is all just stupid jokes.
Stupid jokes, cheesy jokes, like lame prop gags. I mean, which I love. It has its place, but it completely not to be taken seriously at all. And then you get the later Woody Allen shit, which is basically like Proto Sorkin, where everybody is way too smart for their own good.
Yeah, Proto Aaron Sorkin.
And everybody talks like too fast and too smart than they ever would.
It's all walking and talking.
Yeah, in real life.
Really
it's like Christopher
annoying.
Durang's
but,
plays,
his
too.
early stuff.
So, this movie comes, I feel like, right in between those two, and it was, the start of his serious, more respectable type of humor that he started, this is when he started toying with respectable filmmaking, I guess you could say. And in my opinion, it is probably the best Woody Allen movie I've ever seen. Colin, when you were talking about how, he was, getting really weirded out and fucked up out in California and shit. This is what I took away from it. Obviously, this guy's fucking neurotic and destroyed and everything like that. When he goes to California and he's with the guy and he's got a hit TV show and he's got $1 million and shit, and
he's inserting fake
fake laughs, and he's right. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage, but it's making him rich. He's got all the success that Woody Allen really wants, and hates other people for he hates other people for having that success.
Yep.
So he hates that shit and everything like that. But when he offers him a spot on his TV show, he instantly gets really sick, because even though he knows that's garbage, he feels that if he goes on, everybody will see how fucking useless he really is. It's like one of those things, everybody's stupid, but everybody's going to be smart enough to see right through me.
So you're saying he had a genuine anxiety attack because he was afraid that he was going to be found out for basically being a phony ass.
Yes.
Oh, no, I was pretty confident.
And could that be why he enjoys playing to college crowds so much?
Yeah.
No, actually, that's a really good point, because Annie's a lot younger than him. He plays to college crowds because they appreciate his humor, because only the young and naive don't realize that he is full of shit.
Yep.
I actually gave this exact advice to a friend the other day.
I know some people whose dating habits are like that.
Whoa!
Well, honestly,
John, you kind of horned it in on Chris's territory here. Okay?
I feel like, honestly, that speaks to the human condition, because I've heard this said that success means believing that you're fooling everybody all of the time. Because once you feel like that, you have success.
Is everybody buying my bullshit? I'm a success.
No, I'm not buying your bullshit, Colin.
No, I don't even know what's
Stop by the JMH store, the JHM store, buy our bullshit.
Hooray!
So I will say, even though everything in this movie was copied, there were a couple of things that weren't copied that were really good, and I feel that maybe it's either people feel that they won't be able to do it as well as it was done in this movie. I don't know why they haven't really done it that much, but one of the things, the first things, the completely non-linear storytelling here.
Okay.
it's not like Pulp Fiction where you have like these 3 set stories that kind of overlap. It's literally like a fluid, almost stream of consciousness type storytelling. It's almost like one of my reviews. In that if you listen to the entire thing, I don't really make consecutive coherent points, but you can get the gist of it. But
all of a sudden we're gonna cut to your family on Coney Island arguing with each other.
Yeah, and I honestly really like that. Just the way it like flash forward, flash back, flash sideways, or cutaways. It was just really like there was fantasy moments and real moments. It was just really kind of awesome.
I think I like that too. I agree.
All right. So the other thing that I really liked about this movie that I don't see a whole lot is stopping of random people like on the street to like act as his other conscious voices in
like
his
his
head
moral
and stuff.
Right, and
Yeah,
once
that
again,
was cool.
that makes more sense knowing how he wanted the movie to be. rather.
Yeah.
Not that that made any less sense without, but it was an awesome effect. I love that.
Yeah, that was really cool.
I really like that, and I wish people would do more things like that. And as a matter of fact, you over there, do you like things like this? I don't know if I really like these fancy movies or anything. So you're like a redneck? Yeah, you can tell by my cowboy hat and country shirt that I am a redneck and a complete idiot. So I can't. How do I know you're an idiot? Well, I own about 7 guns. Okay, that's good enough. How do you feel about this this movie? Do you think I'm covering it okay? Well, I feel if you really want to unpack this movie, you have to look at the dichotomy between free will versus determinism in kind of a postmodernist frame. I mean. When you look at LV's actions here, I mean, normally you would say, well, this guy's an asshole, because of the things he does. But when you look at determinism, it's not necessarily that his actions are stupid, or I mean, it's not that. You understand what I'm saying here? His
No.
People claim that because his character is bad, that his action is bad, but really, his actions are bad, and that affects his character. You understand? So,
No, country idiot, go on.
You're almost there. You're almost there.
So really what you understand is that because his character is such a way that the choices that he's going to make are already predetermined, so he's not really trying to decide what he's going to decide. He's there trying to understand why he decided it. All right, okay, that's enough of you. Why did you go back to the barbecue, please? Thanks. All right. I'm sorry about that.
That redneck is a Calvinist.
Why is there barbecue? No one told me.
I don't know.
Oh, God,
I think you stole one of your beers, Eric.
So, James.
Yeah, there were no field moments, really. I thought about that when you asked, and I don't know. I just liked it. I enjoyed the movie. No feels, though. No solid feels.
I want to actually address this based on some of the things that you guys brought up. You guys brought up some pretty amazing talking points during this one.
And we're funny. It's astounding.
It's funnier than Woody Allen.
There were a couple of things. I mean, at first, all I really had to say about this movie is that I loved this movie when I was younger, and now that I'm adult, I fucking hate this movie so much. And it was so that was pretty much the long and the short of it. But I was shocked that Colin keyed into that. Because when I was 19 and I first saw this movie...
Dude, yeah.
I loved the shit out of this movie because I was a dumbass kid who hated everything, had no joy in his life.
Yep.
And thought I was way smarter and cooler than everybody else.
I was going to say, John, what's changed?
Well, what's changed is that
Millie beat it out.
He has a hat now.
I actually enjoy things, and I enjoy life, and I have a capacity for joy. Which is why I hate...
A flux capacity.
Yeah, I have a flux capacity. Which is why I have such a hard time swallowing a character like Alvy, because I can't imagine how somebody can maintain that.
That's what I was just about to say.
Yeah.
How do you
Without-
keep that up?
I see a guy like that, and I'm like, man, get it together, dude. Like,
yeah, because I mean, like, honestly, there has to become some kind of tipping point for you, because it's like, how do you do that for so long without just be ending up so miserable? You either end up so miserable that you no longer have the drive to go out and socialize with other people, so I'm not going to encounter you, or I don't understand how somebody like Alvy can exist. I know they're out there. I don't know what makes people like that.
I've got an answer for you, and it comes in the form of a clarity to my... No. It comes in the form to the Claritin to my anxiety TV show thing. Alvy is so insecure that he's right. Sitcoms are garbage, especially 70s sitcoms, are garbage. He's so insecure, he believes that he is not even good enough for garbage. Okay.
Yeah, but people who believe that for most of their adult life, they reach a point where they can no longer really
keep it up. It just takes too much energy.
Well, no, it takes too much energy for them to go out. Like, you gotta understand, a character like Alvy only works because he, like, when you're young and you're 19 and you're fucking miserable and you think you're better than everybody else, you still have that driving desire to connect. You haven't been beat down so hard that you realize that connection is pretty much impossible in the route that you're going. So you still go out there and try and connect and just fail. And you either realize that you connect to other human beings by being a human as opposed to a walking ball of crap, or you just never learn how to connect, and then you don't. And then eventually you just get beat down and you never connect and you go a little crazy. So, I mean, that's the only way it makes sense to me. That's kind of what adulthood has done for me and Annie Hall, this movie. When I was young, I got it. I thought it was romantic. I didn't think it was sad. And I thought I understood these characters. Now that I'm older, I realize I don't understand these characters. I don't understand the world that they live in. And I don't understand a lot of the things that happen in this.
You don't understand Annie?
I understand Annie.
Yeah, I mean, she's normal.
Yeah, and I understand some of the stuff that I guess happens. I guess there's certain things that Alvy does that a lot of people do in their life that I have never gotten. And Colin can attest, this is a point of contention with me. One of the things I do not understand, because Alvy and Annie break up. They get back together. I do not get that. I never understand people who go back to the same well.
Having done that many times myself in previous chapters of my life, I no longer understand it either. and I mean, I look back and I recognize that I did it, and it seemed like the thing to do at the time, but it just doesn't add up in my brain. Like, I look back and I'm like, I mean, none of the times.
I mean, functionally, it's exactly the same as Alvy flying out to California and going, hey, so you're going to marry me, right? So just get on the plane. Let's go back to New York.
Yeah.
I get
it.
Assuming that this thing that was broken is just by your force of will going to be fixed again.
It's like you take the milk out of the fridge.
It does happen because I'm the center of my own universe.
And you take that spoiled milk and you put it in the trash. And then the next day, you go to the trash and you go, you know,
this is still
I
good.
really used to enjoy that milk. I'm going to give it another try. And you put it back in the fridge. And then you're shocked when it comes out of the fridge and it's still nasty and poisonous to you.
Here's the deal. I have never been that guy. I have never been that guy who goes back. It never made sense to me. It still doesn't make sense to me.
I'm actually with you there, too. It just never made sense to me. But I can understand it because I have found myself not hating people as much as I probably should because no, I mean that seriously. Like, cause like I kind of forgot how much of an atrocious fuck ass they were, you know? And then I'm like, oh, right. You start hanging out with this person again. Oh, yeah.
This is why I stopped hanging out with them in the first place.
Oh, right. Right. But it's not like you jump back in a relationship or nothing.
No. So,
but it's one of those things like
unless you're me for 10 straight years.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I can't. Like I said, I can't even explain it. Like I don't.
There's
I
also
don't know.
that.
Well, I got to admit that scene where they get back together, Colin, actually kind of made me think of you. Because
golly, why?
Well, you're the guy I know that has the most practical experience with that because a lot. Well, okay, yep. So
See, the worst part about getting back in a relationship is you have to take back all that stupid shit you said about them to all your friends.
Oh, yeah. There's a whole minefield of things like that about getting back with your ex, where it's like, oh, I broke up with so-and-so. Why? Because she stole all my money.
Did she give you the dick flu?
Yeah, she gave me wiener. She gave me wiener flu.
Again?
Give me wiener flu and pectoral fits, and, like, sure enough, because she, was frogling some other guy. But, like, and then you go to your friends, you're like, oh, yeah, so I'm back with so-and-so. Wait, I thought you said she stole all your money.
Yeah.
Yeah. But hear me out. I'm retarded.
No. She was addicted. Now it's a habit.
She's improved herself.
Right.
Well, it wasn't technically cheating. We were on a break.
This movie, I hate Alvy. I hate him. I hate the character. I kind of have built up a little bit resentment towards Annie Hall for staying with a guy like this for so long.
Yes.
Not that you can really blame her. It's easy to get trapped in these kind of comfort things. But at the same time,
it's explainable.
Yeah, it's explainable. It's rough when you have to see it. The only thing I really have to say anymore is about the feel. The scene where he is trying to recreate the lobster moment.
Oh, yeah. So
that got me. For me, I have been the idiot who has tried to recreate a moment from another relationship.
No.
Oh, I have. But I have also been on the receiving end of it. And let me say, either side sucks terribly. That's all I've got to say about Annie Hall. I can see why it won a Best Picture.
Yeah, me too.
But it did not. The only feel it really engendered in me was just kind of unbridled rage at Alvy's behavior. We'll be right back after this word from our sponsor. Hi, I'm John from John Hates Movies. War, famine, disease, child hunger. These things are bad.
Forget all that! I'm Guy Fieri for John Hates Movies. We're rolling out to child factories in Indonesia, where we have kids working around the clock to supply merchandise for John Hates Movies. You want a tally-ho coffee mug? John Hates Movies.
For the price of a cup of coffee or a pair of shoes, you could buy us a cup of coffee or a pair of shoes.
You want a I Roll with Eric's Dad t-shirt? John Hates Movies.
The John Hates Movies merchandise store. I'm losing my mind over here.
You want a Flarp Industries Turbo Lawn t-shirt? John Hates Movies.
When I visit at the John Hates Movies store, I just want the product so bad, I sometimes get the urge to slam my face into the monitor and just, it's not that I want to kill myself or I'm depressed, I just get this uncontrollable urge. I feel as an artist you'd understand.
So that's it for John Hates Movies merchandise store.
Click the link on our website or on our Facebook page.
Or visit www.cafepress.com/John Hates Movies. And thank you for buying us more money.
$2 go on my dick. Right on my dick. Put the money on my dick.
All right, everyone. It is now time for the game. Running tonight's game is going to be Eric.
All right. Okay, tally ho. First off, because that's what I say every time that you announce me. So for tonight's game, I really wanted to do something. Colin did this about 3 months back, and I've really kind of wanted us to do this again. And we're going to do it tonight.
Yay!
Tonight is the John Hates Movies Haiku-a-thon.
Oh,
yeah! That is not what I thought you were going for.
Hell yeah!
Crap.
What did you think, Johnny?
I thought you were doing another John Hates Movies trivia.
Oh, no. So it was,
of course not, because you fucking cheat at it.
I know I do.
Yeah, that's the game we play when we want John to win.
In the Tombstone episode, all of a sudden, Colin just broke out with a Tombstone haiku about mustaches and shit.
And sweaty Val Kilmer.
Right. So I really want haikus to be a part of this podcast again. So we're going to do it. So what I need from you guys this week is a 575 haiku. And it's going to be, you're each going to have to deliver me 3 haikus.
Oh!
3?
Yes.
Jesus Christ. Are you sure we shouldn't do this at home? Turn it in on Monday?
How many do you need?
We'll see.
Just one?
Just one.
Okay. So I just need one, but then you're all going to say 'em, and then we're going to do another one, and then you're all going to say 'em.
Okay.
Then we're going to do a last one, and after that one, I'm going to pick a winner.
Okay. Before we go here, let's introduce who's going to be choosing what. We're trying something new here, folks. Who's going to be choosing what is up to the individuals. But we're just going to throw all the listener suggestions for next week into a pot. Grab them if you want, guys. If you don't and you want to do your own choice, that's completely understandable. But just so that people know from home what listener suggestions made it in this week, we have Christine Peruski suggesting Amelie. We have Tabby Walters suggesting horns. We have John DeFort suggesting Say Anything. And we have Sean McMillan suggesting Fifth Element. Kind of misses the point for Fillsbury.
It really stretches the definition of love story.
No, guys, the Fifth Element is love.
I agree with Chris.
Okay.
Oh!
So we're taking it. Fifth Element is our fourth suggestion for our Fillsbury movie for next week. So now that we've got this out of the way, Eric, haiku time.
So for our first round of haiku, there will be 3 rounds. I need each of you to write a haiku about a previous episode or a previous movie that we have reviewed on John Hates Movies. 575. Give it to me. Let's go. Okay. So for our first contestant on this week's John Hates Movies Haiku-a-thon, we're going to go with John himself. John, talk to me about your haiku regarding a movie that we have reviewed.
Or the movie podcast itself, right?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. John is awesome sauce. Colin and Chris hates each other. James is a weirdo.
You call him?
Excellent. Okay, Chris, what do you have for us?
Colin, always wrong. Chris, total badass guy. Really, fuck Colin.
Chris, that did not follow the 575 rhyme structure.
It didn't?
Yes, it did.
No, it didn't.
Actually.
Colin, always wrong. Chris, total badass guy. Wait, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that's
5,
6,
6.
dog.
Hold on. I got it. Hold on. Because I changed it because I changed it because you were rushing me. Chris, I correct myself back to Chris. Total badass, awesome.
Okay, Colin.
While you were rushing Chris, I wrote 4.
Oh, wow.
What the hell?
Choose the best one.
Give me one of them, yeah.
Oh man. Okay, mine are all about movies that we've watched. So I'll give you one that's pretty easy to guess.
The Open Highway. A tale of bloody revenge. Death of Toe Cutter.
Okay, so that's really good.
Yeah.
All right, so James, top us off.
Trucks are really cool. There is a bear in the air. I hate truckers, sir.
Oh, all right. So our first submission from the John Hates Movies Haiku-a-thon participants, pretty good. So for the next submission, I need a 575 haiku about love.
Oh man.
Okay, so first up on our second round of John Hates Movies Haiku-a-thon, Chris, talk to me. What's your haiku?
Love with empty hands. Prostitutes have feelings too. I am so alone.
Oh no.
That's fucking good.
That's terrible.
good. So, John, you're up next.
Oh, God. All right. Pregnant pause.
Hold on. Eric's struggling to breathe, apparently.
That was really good. That's what I was looking for.
We're going to be watching Starship Troopers, aren't we?
Oh, shit.
Okay. I hate love stories. They make me vomit chunks. I punch them in face.
I like the shortcut there.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, the only way he can do it is by like weird speech patterns, like either Gollum or Hulk.
So, James, you're up next.
Oh God, Lady Gaga's hot. It's my bad romance.
Okay, so James, part of your haiku just got beeped. Okay, so Colin, talk to me about your haiku.
You want my movie one or my love one?
Love.
It's Valentine's Day. Old cold pizza in the fridge. My date, nobody.
Apparently, me and him were trying to write relatively the same thing. Replace prostitute with pizza, which often happens in this show.
Okay, boys. So for our last haiku of the night, I need you guys to write me in the traditional Japanese sense. Haikus were traditionally about nature. I need a haiku about nature from you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the third round of the John Hates Movies Haiku-a-thon. Chris, talk to me about your haiku.
So this is the nature haiku. What is that bright thing? My God, it's burning my eyes. Goggles do nothing.
Ah, damn it. That's funny.
I will take everyone else's reaction of laughter as that was funny, but I don't get it.
It's a Simpsons callback, yeah.
The goggles, they do nothing.
The goggles, they do nothing.
Rainier Wolfcastle.
Okay, Colin, what do you have for me?
My name is Colin McMillan, and this is my haiku about nature. The mighty forest, I take in every smell. A bear is shitting.
Yeah. I was trying to
I gotta go next.
I was trying to figure out. I was definitely trying to figure out how to do a bear shitting, or a bear in the air.
Oh,
That's good. That's good. Oh shit. Okay.
I'm not very happy with mine, but it follows. I make friends with bears. Only they are pure of heart. They also taste great.
Oh shit. That was good. Alright, so John, you're gonna wrap us up on the John Hates Movies Haiku-a-thon.
Another cheat one. Water is like tree. Both.
John, you're the worst.
Water is like a tree.
If you plant some drops in your yards, you can grow some. You can get some peaches.
Okay,
You can start an orchard if you plant some drops in your yard.
Start that over again.
Okay.
Water is like tree. Rock is also like tree. Everything is tree.
Alright, hold on. Water is like tree. Both are found outside my room. I need to stay in.
In the classic John style of looking around the room.
You can look out a window.
Okay, so contestants, I'm very sorry, but Chris just won.
Chris, are you going to be picking up one of our losers? Oh my God, not our loser suggestions. Chris,
one of our loser suggestions.
Chris, are you going to be picking up one of our
suggested movies?
Our suggested movies, or are you going to be doing one of your own?
What were the suggested movies again?
John Dufort's.
Don't tell me who. Just tell
Say
me
anything.
Say
anything.
Amelie, The Fifth Element, and Horns.
I assume you guys aren't going to let me do Starship Troopers?
No.
Okay.
No.
Then
if you're
going to
do your own, please make it a Feels Be Wary movie if you can.
I have a question for John, and 54 or 95?
I'm going to go with 54 this time.
Sabrina, 1954. Audrey Hepburn.
Was it Sabrina or the remake of Sabrina?
Correct.
Ah.
I haven't actually seen the remake, but I recall the original being pretty damn good.
Well, actually, the remake would probably be more reachable for people, though, because you have Harrison Ford and you have Greg Kinnear, who's fucking hilarious.
It's your call, Chris.
We're going to do the remake, the 1995 Sabrina.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here on John Hates Movies. We're ignoring all of your listener suggestions and instead choosing our own. And we're going to be watching our last Feels Be Wary movie as the remake of Sabrina with Harrison Ford and Greg Kinnear. Can't even remember who the woman is.
Julia Ormond. That makes it sound like Harrison Ford and Greg Kinnear totally together.
It's a romance. It's a romance movie.
Now, John, correct me if I'm wrong. Are the suggestions that we haven't used, are they staying in consideration for future weeks?
No, they're not. They're getting tossed aside. So if you did not win this week, please go ahead and resubmit your choice if you want to keep it, or go ahead and submit something new. Basically how it's going to work from here on out, folks, and we're trying this out, so if it gets a little muddied, please forgive us. But what we're going to try out is basically what you saw here, where we go ahead and we pick from a pool. We either let our winners either choose from the pool or choose themselves. And every third podcast is going to be listener appreciation, where we have to pick from the pool. So that's the way we're going to try this out for a little while until we get all the kinks ironed out, until we decide to arbitrarily change it again. So
win.
So tune in next week when we watch Sabrina.
Hooray!
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
You can listen to our podcast on iTunes, the Stitcher app, or directly on our website. Feel free to send us a movie review suggestion. You'll have an equal chance of getting chosen for next week's movie review. You can reach us through social media, either by liking our Facebook page, John Hates Movies, or following our Twitter at John Hates Movies. Our music was composed by Kevin MacLeod. You can find this track and many more on his website, incompetech.com. Thanks for listening, and tune in next week to hear someone say...
Stephen Buscemi, Antonio Banderas, stop shaking those guns.